Yo, what up? What's going on? This is Romey-Mak. Welcome to 2 Cents, where we talk about any and everything, give our 2 cents. Been a minute since we hit y'all with a show, so here we go, live and direct from our different locations around the nation. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get right into it. Get Croombe and Ebony on the line. Yo, fam, we here, man. What's up? What's going on right now, man? Yeah, we just acting pure retarded right now. Yeah. Oh damn, Fatu. But yeah. So, family, it's been a couple weeks since we did one of these things, but a lot of things to really get into. I want to start the show off. Obviously it being the 50th anniversary of Dr. King being assassinated. Yeah. So if Dr. King was if he was here right now, I mean, really, what do you think? How do you feel like? Well, I mean, really, what would America be like if Dr. King was still alive? I think he would still be getting called a nigga, personally.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they would still be making attacks on him. They would still be trying to silence him, just as they done to every other leader thus far. You know what I'm saying? And that is white supremacy. That's what it is designed to do, to keep that sense of power, and and keep that and keep those that they feel like they can control to stay in that mindset that they're not able to succeed or achieve in this life. You know what I'm saying? To the likes of
straight Boondocks episode.
Very basically,
You ignorant nigga.
Yeah. But but seriously though, I think MLK would if he was still alive, America would. I don't know. I think he had to die for the cause. To be honest, I don't think it comes without.
I think he would realize his mistake. I hate to say his mistake, but
yeah. I think him and Malcolm would have eventually came to some kind of agreement.
Nah, him and Malcolm would have been like popping Dickie.
It's no agreement, because when you look at it, this is like, I'm not saying this is like what he dreamed of, but when you look at Malcolm's whole approach, it's like we need to build for ourselves and be separate. We can't be strong under someone else's umbrella where they treat us differently.
And that's the whole fact. We'll learn how to tolerate each other if we stay separate.
Look at now. We're supposed to be together now. Schools are still segregated because they say we're not, but it's education-wise it's segregated. Everything is still the same. They just hide under a disguise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, real shit with that.
Still the same. People still getting shot. People still getting arrested for no reason. All this stuff. Nothing. Like a little bit has changed, but not enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the whole point, and that's what someone else was saying, was like he began to realize his mistake. When you begin to realize your mistake and you don't see it flourish like you want to, yeah, I think he would have realized we should have had our own thing going. And that's what Malcolm was trying to teach.
Yeah, we really do have to, to worry about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Trying to build ourselves up. There's nothing wrong with self-love as far as the community goes. You know what I'm saying? The Italians have, they love themselves. They're rich in their heritage. Of course, the Latinos. You know what I'm saying? Latin culture. They, self-love. There's nothing wrong with building yourself up, but loving. Black love does not mean you hate white. You know what I'm saying? It's not the way that works.
Yeah, we're one of the only people. I'm not gonna say we're one of the only people, because when you look at the Hispanics, they do the same thing a lot. But we are bred on hating ourselves, bro.
Yeah.
From the time you come out, your hair is not a certain way. It's natural. You hate yourself. Even when you go through that phase where you're trying to get waves in your head and stuff and all that, that shit's based off history, trying to look whiter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a lot of those.
Hair, all that shit is we bred to hate ourselves.
Yeah, it's like a ripple. It's been a ripple effect throughout time. Yeah, man. I mean, Like, yeah.
Johnny Long type.
I ain't gonna lie. I've been even I've been that individual that we're discussing right now. I remember being in high school trying to get that damn comb through texturizer to work on my shit, trying to get them little curls, get that Elder Barge curl. But my shit was like Luther; it never really curled all the way over. But I had my little what is it? What's the shit? Magic. Was it magic something or what? I forgot what the wave grease.
Man, they had a dang.
What was the wave grease?
Magic wave.
Yeah, the wave grease in that blue and purple can. What was it? The wave grease that used to be in that blue and purple can.
Yeah, you have to use the lighter to get it all,
Yeah, but but for real, MLK. I'm sure that he is like, again, so just like the Boondocks episode, you know what I'm saying, like looking at every street with Martin Luther King on it probably ain't the safest. I just got back from St. August, from being in St. Augustine, the oldest city in Florida. If you ever do get a chance, a lot of historical stuff out there. We had a pretty good time seeing the sights and going to like the lighthouse and all that shit. But there was a street out there that had Martin Luther King on it, and I was joking but serious at the same time. Like, we need to get the hell out of here, because anytime there's you're on like Martin Luther King Boulevard, Drive, Street, Road, it's kind of, it's commonly like in a bad area, but it was right in the tourist section, but it was all in fun. I feel like that. Granted, we've come a long ways, and we still got like a long way to go. You know what I'm saying? And there would be some things that Martin would be proud about, but as far as like, again, like you said, the self-hatred shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, we just saw what the power of the black dollar with Black Panther. And not to say that only black people went out to go see Black Panther, but I'm pretty sure there was a great deal of black people, a great number of black people that went out to support this film on the strength of it having such, African roots and, something to be proud of. So if we can do this for, that was proof that we can do this for our own like community. You know what I'm saying? So like, if we can do this for Black Panther, then we can do it for black banking. We can do it for, just money to help keep, to put back into our communities. Now, granted, there is that thing of white supremacy that's out there that just kind of like, prevents, us from getting to a certain point. You know what I'm saying? Like that, there's no denying that exists. But again, it just shows the power of the black dollar. And again, if we can stick together, long enough, man, we might can see something, man. But it's always something, and it stems like even back from the slavery days, where you have like the house nigga and the field nigga, and that whole concept of like, oh, why he get to go, why does he get to be in there? What makes him so good? You know what I'm saying? Like how they would keep the lighter skin Negro in the house and the darker one in the in the fields. So yeah, there's the definitely where that hatred can stem from. But but do you guys think that MLK would be proud of what we've done as a nation though so far? Even thus, granted, we still have a long way to go, but is there something for MLK to be like, what, I'm glad I did what I did, and that I didn't die in vain?
I think so. Yeah, we slowly are progressing, but I think that he would be proud of some of the things that we've accomplished.
Would he be happy about Cardi B's album coming out today?
Hell no. He wouldn't be happy about that. Real Housewives of Atlanta. He wouldn't be happy about all of that. We probably wouldn't even have that if he was still alive. Yeah,
and his granddaughter or great granddaughter, she on TV, I guess, for it was for the march, the gun, the anti-gun or gun reform march the other week. and she was like, she dreams of a world where there are no guns. I don't necessarily agree with no guns. I just think that, again, the assault weapons shouldn't be. Yeah, you probably want to put a ban on assault weapons, but not having any guns. Yeah, you
I don't
know.
understand why the hell we need some damn assault weapons in the first place.
Yeah,
We
but
don't need no assault weapons.
I just I don't. I think even Martin Luther King would have a gun if he survived that gunshot on the on the balcony. Let's just say, we have like a little Boondocks like type event where somehow or another Martin Luther King, survives, and I bet you he turned into Tupac after that. He paranoid as fuck, and somebody around him got a piece.
I know I own a gun, but I don't need an assault rifle.
Yeah.
What I have will just do for protection if I need it. So I need an assault rifle.
No, that's
You don't even use it in the military.
assault weapons is they're used for. That's for mass killings. That's designed to do what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, but whatever. I mean, there are people that just they have a love for shooting, but at the same time they can switch it. Again, like the kid, down here in Parkland, he used to collect guns. And he used to go out shooting them, and he would take pictures of it. And and he did what he did. And because he was able to do it all legally, we had that incident happen. So obviously something needs. So something needs to be done. So we'll we can only hope that things get better. Yeah.
Wait, what'd you say? Yeah.
So so Jeffrey, my man, what do you think about let's just say Martin Luther King? Yeah. So if he survived if he survived that shooting or whatever, and how would you think he would view America still after that?
You know what, man? I think he'll think he failed, bro. You look at if he had to watch as many shootings in that time frame that happened to black people, from cops to choking out and all the rest of this shit, excuse me for saying, and then how we had to try to start that Black Lives Matter type thing, when he was trying to say all our lives matter at one point, which I can see why some people said that, but he'll think he failed, man, because everything he stood for seems like went to the wayside. When you look at it, it's like we're not that better off, man. And I've been saying that for a long time. Racism just doesn't disappear out of nowhere. It's taught. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If your granddad, and you gotta think 60s, 70s, people were still super racist. We're in the 2010s or whatever, but those people from the 60s and 70s, a lot of them are still alive. You know what I'm saying? And they taught their kids to be racist. And that's why when you go to school, the teachers teach or worse on some students, like black students, than they should be. That's why they always say overactive, and they want to put you in different classes and all the rest of this stuff, because they were taught that from the people above them. They don't think they're being racist, but they're at a point they are. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing. And then black people taught you can't trust them crackers and all the rest of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's what you're taught, man. We might not believe it, but it hasn't disappeared.
Yeah.
You can't tell me too many black people that don't have a distrust for white people at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like we have a distrust for the police.
Oh, for sure. We see certain people in uniform when we see the police. When you see police and you look on the news, it's a white guy shooting you know what I'm saying, a black guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you have that disdain. We don't want to say it, but we got the same disdain that, you know what I'm saying, they have for us. They supposedly fear us, but from my point, man, I wouldn't even want to wish this upon him. I mean, I know he would like life, but when you go your whole life striving for something, and then you look back at it, and it's just a waste. The same thing with you gotta look like Muhammad Ali had to look at when he didn't want to go to war, right, over his religion.
Yeah.
It don't mean they still gonna do it to you. You know what I'm saying? He got away with it, but if you look at it now, look how they treat Muslim people. The last shooting that happened on YouTube, like at one point, a Muslim person was the most feared person in America. They treated Muslims worse than they treated black. You think about it, man. This place is just, America's just like built on hate, bro.
Yeah.
You don't think
Everything.
about it. It's built
Everything.
on hate. It was hate for the Indians at one point. It's just been hate, built on hate.
Yeah, there's one common denominator though. They're white supremacy.
Exactly.
No, that the white man's fear of anybody else having more than him.
I feel bad, man. I feel bad, yo.
I wish if I had a choice between a leader back then between Martin and Malcolm, I'm definitely for Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me. That non-violent shit. Yeah, all that does for me, non-violence teaches you to turn the other cheek, and that's supposedly
it teaches you to be docile.
Yep, the Christian thing to do. These people carrying out these kill orders are claiming to be Christian. Trump claims to be Christian.
I got a question. What, like, if you go look at European times, when a king or somebody's been doing, one people's been oppressed, when has just standing there and turning the other cheek help those people out? You go through history and look at it. We can't learn from history. We don't supposed to look. They tell you you're supposed to learn from history, but they teach us that we're supposed to turn the other cheek and be like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
how is it? Well, how is it that they stripped us of everything else, but they gave us the Bible?
Because that's a control mechanism. Man, we know why, bro. It's control.
There you go. It's right. It's right there. It's that literal sense, because they teach that, as far as like from a master standpoint.
If you look at the Indians that didn't want to turn to their philosophy, they killed them out. The ones that stuck to what they did, and the ones that turned toward Christianity or whatsoever and just became docile, they gave them strip of land or wherever. Now they wiped the other ones out. You know what I'm saying? They gave them a strip of land and told them, you can live the way you want to live.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I only think the only reason they did that is because they didn't want to seem like they killed a whole ton of people, and they were actually the savages. That's the only reason I think they did that.
Right.
But hey, nowhere in history does being docile help you out. Nowhere.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We we as a community have to figure something out, man. Maybe, hopefully, you know what I'm saying, that some folks are paying attention, because again, we put a lot of money into a lot of different companies that are in a lot of different communities that are getting richer, while the rest of while some of our community is like suffering. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much money. You think about how many people. Jordan is. I guess Jordan would be somewhat. But Jordan still is like a part business. He doesn't have complete ownership of Jordan. So it's still like money. That money doesn't. I'm pretty sure he has something set up to where it goes back to like a certain community that might be black, but it's not like predominantly going to the black community. All the money made from Jordan going elsewhere. But there's a lot of but think about it. These motherfuckers, like, we did a story. We did that show a couple months ago about a kid that was murdered. You know what I'm saying, for his mom's going to get him those Jordans. These motherfuckers stand in these lines, all morning. They show up at these stores at like 7 o'clock in the morning till, I don't know, maybe 1 to pick up a pair of Jordans. And this kid really, really wanted them, so he wore it. I think it's up in Maryland or DC area. And he wore the shoes, and they killed him for his shoes, just for the shoes alone, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's more to. I'm sure there's more to life. I know there's more to life than just looking at fly. Is it worth dying for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much. We put so much money, like Hennessy. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we put so much money into like the Hennessy company. So what does Hennessy do for us?
that's why I said I tell anybody, man. I hate to say this, but like, it's two things I've been thinking about. Like these rappers and these people who have money, if they actually want to do something, they will rebuild a place like, you know, like Detroit, those places that's like condemned or pretty much like torn down. They would rebuild that city, and you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say make it predominantly black, but make all your black businesses in one spot and rebuild that spot.
Yeah, but
they don't want to do it.
They're trained to be like, oh, they're just not going to appreciate it. Like the people won't appreciate it.
No, I'm not. Just people won't.
Some people don't. Or if they do have their black businesses, they don't know how to maintain it. They don't know how to be professional.
I'm saying these dudes that got millions on millions.
Yeah.
Like Detroit or something, and put their black businesses in that place. Those mega, the people who have all that money, they could do that. If they wanted to make a team, they would be a. And this is the thing about the NBA too. If they want to make a team, they will all get together and own a black team like Detroit and build that city.
Yep. But again, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are so consumed in their shit. You know, you think you look at like the athletes in the NFL, you know what I'm saying? Like how many of them go like they you remember in the 90s we used to see all these flashy ass athletes, and then you would also see the the outcome of that flashiness when they would retort to like bankruptcy. You know what I'm saying? Like that one they did broke, you know, the 30 for 30 broke with all those athletes. They're not really trained to deal with money. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not really these are kids some of them fresh out of high school, you know, maybe 2 years of college coming out.
That's one of the biggest problems with us having our own business and stuff. We don't know how.
They're not trained to make more money, and
we don't know how to do it.
That's because that freestyle that Mickey Fax did on Funk Master Flex was hella important, because he was talking about credit and how they brainwash you early.
Yeah. Well, Jeff will elaborate a little bit on that.
Well, basically he was saying, that's so hard. He was saying how like they don't tell you this in school, how they give you a credit card, and they don't tell you that like that those numbers stay with you for the rest of your life. Like they want you to get a credit card, go out and spend, look fly, you know, get a car, and then when it turns down, they'll stop you from getting a job.
I learned all of that going to our white school.
It'll stop you.
I learned going to our white school. They don't teach you to know the.
Yeah, it'll stop you from getting a job. It'll stop you from like getting a house, a car, anything that can help you build yourself out of like, I don't want to say like the hood or wherever you are. It'll help you build yourself out of that, but they don't tell you that stuff. They don't want you to know that stuff. And they know, like you say, a lot of those fresh young dudes out of high school, they burn. I know for a fact, I know niggas that got in the NBA burned millions of dollars when they first got in. They first got out.
That's the type of stuff they need to teach kids.
But they not gonna teach that.
They just focus on.
Yeah, I mean, I saw.
They're not gonna teach you real world shit.
I saw a kid, a young rapper, a young artist. I don't really remember his fucking name. He's some cat I seen on World Star. Didn't even watch the video, just saw the heading. But the motherfucker put money in the toilet. He just put money in the toilet.
I would have been slapped him for that.
You know what I'm saying? Like that is money is the way of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it really depends on where you put that shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're just not. I would say some of us. Like I said, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna speak for all of us, but some of the folks in the black community just don't know how to manage money.
And it's not. You know what's funny though? It's not just schools that you teach them, but we as adults, like parents, need to teach
yes,
them.
definitely.
We don't. We hide that stuff. Like if you ain't got money, you know, we hide it. You be like, I know I'm broke, but I'm gonna get my kids these toys anyway. They think you just made them money. Because you don't teach them about things like, hey, I gotta pay rent. This is what's important. This is how much, you know. If we able to sit down with our kids and say, you know what, this is the reality of things. This is how shit goes down. Maybe, you know, that's what we need to do as parents, especially with this generation. We struggling, living from paycheck to paycheck. You don't want your kids doing it, so there's plenty of resources out there. That's the problem too, though. There's a lot of resources out there for us to learn all this stuff and then teach our kids and things. But people are just too lazy to do it. People are just too lazy to do it. There are plenty of resources out there available. Or even just educate yourself on it. Plenty of resources. People don't want to put the work in. They want to do everything the easy way.
Right.
In other words, it's like I'm gonna be a football player, a basketball player, so I can make millions of money. Instead of working way up from the bottom, figuring out how shit really
My
does.
shit is like, yeah, that's all fun. When you a kid, yeah, you want to play in the NBA and all that. You want to be as big as like Michael Jordan. To be honest, me as as a 32-year-old turning 33 this year, I want to be the motherfucker paying the player to play. You know what I'm saying? Like team owner. You know what I mean? Something like that. Ownership is very, it's very important. And like, again, I teach my kid, you know what I'm saying? I'm, advising my daughter, yeah, I want her to go to college for the experience, but I want her to run her own business. You know what I'm saying? Like,
work for yourself.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Sit there and go to school for 4 years to go work for somebody else's dream when you can do your own shit. That's just, that's just my that's just my thoughts on that. That's nothing against anybody else's parenting. If you want your kid, to go to school and do as such, but
you don't have to go to college to work for yourself. I have a relative that is a true testament to that. And didn't have to go to college. He started his own business. He started out selling snow cones in Houston. Selling snow cones. Now he's doing birthday parties and all kinds of things. He has every time I look up, he's buying something for his new thing, or he's working with venues. He's working with local people too as well, with other local businesses as well, and he's doing it big. I mean, working for himself, and that he taught himself how to do all that, and that was just 3 years ago selling snow cones, and now he's well known in Houston. Man's Playhouse. I'm promoting, yes, I know. But yeah, Man's Playhouse. I think it's Man's Playhouse.
Yeah.
Like that in Houston, Texas. Yeah, he's doing the thing. You don't have to go to college for it, but he's working for himself. He's, black-owned business. Right there. And then he's helping. He has younger generation kids helping him out with it too, showing them what hard work is all about. Making money, put it away, save it. That's what we need. That's what we need in our community. People like that.
No, I'm just saying.
No, I know. You're just such a hater.
I wasn't saying anything about that. I was just talking about that. Look.
But
no, did you see what he had on his window?
no, I didn't.
Yo, this dude had some house aluminum siding on his back window, bro.
some what?
Some house aluminum siding for his back window, bro.
House aluminum.
You know the siding you put on your house and stuff?
Yeah.
He had that on his back window. He didn't have a back window. That was his back window, bro.
That's something, man.
It's cold as dog shit outside too, so he's driving. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
Hey, do what you got to do, bro.
After and like to close up pretty much what we've been talking about roughly in this topic about Martin Luther King and how he would look at America, I would say Martin Luther King would be pissed if he was still if he was here to see the shit that the things that what we've done and what he fought for and all of that. You know what I'm saying? You would think that our brains would be programmed to work for something more, to bring more, I would say, ownership to our people. But there's still hope there's always hope for the future. You know what I'm saying? I don't go too as far as I want, I obviously want black people to work together as far as put money back into the community and shit like that. But I'm not gonna go as far as like Umar Johnson when he talks about, being with another race. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna prevent you from total blackness and shit like that. I disagree with that in a sense. I get the point he's trying to make, as far as like he tries to he makes his point how we just need to stick together and just fuel our our community. And he's saying that the black woman is like, what I'm saying, I think he made a point to say, like, again, this is Dr. Umar Johnson, not my stance on it, but it's saying like the black woman is like the least wanted woman or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But I don't feel that way, there's plenty of women, black women that are wanted. I mean, some have made up their mind. A lot of cases, like, they get caught up in stereotypes when it comes to black women, just as like they get caught up in a stereotype when it comes to white women and shit like that, like, like in the sense that as if like white women are easier to handle or some shit like that. Yeah, it's easier to handle until like ask those black guys that like, you remember, what was it, what do we go see, and we go see Daddy's Little Girls together, that Tyler Perry movie. And like, again, Idris Elba's character supposedly was in a room with like this white girl, and she yells rape, and this motherfucker goes to jail for like, I don't know, a few years for some shit he didn't even do. You know what I mean? And that's not all. And what I'm saying is that's not all. You know what I'm saying? It's not to say that all white women are easy, because there are some that can be out to make your life a living hell. I think it's just women in general. That's what I'm talking about, man. My dog Mike called in at the right time, man. Let me get him on. There you go. Yeah, man. That man Mike got back on the show, man. What's happening, bro?
What's happening?
Shit, man. We up here. You called at a great time. We just finished talking about what MLK would think about America and what we've done as a people to this far. And I know you got a lot to say about that shit. And I was just saying how, like, like, as far as like how like Umar Johnson believes that we should date our own. You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't be no interracial dating or anything like that. I don't necessarily agree with such. You know what I'm saying? Because he said, cause what we were talking about really was that he's saying that the black woman is the most least. He made it point to seem like a black woman is like the least wanted woman or something in America, but everybody else gets all their features from that. I can agree to that, but I don't agree that the black woman is the least wanted woman, like in America. And don't quote me on that directly. That's I'm just summarizing what Umar Johnson was implementing on his Breakfast Club interview. And him and DJ Envy got into it about it. It was a good. I thought it was a good segment. But Mike, man, I wanted to get your take on, like, how do you think that Martin Luther King would feel if he were alive today, looking at America, as far as like where we've come, and just all the shit that we deal with on a daily basis.
I think emotions. I would think. I think you have mixed emotions, because I think at one point, or if you look at it from one side, you can say that we've progressed. You know what I'm saying? Since he's made his speech and everything. You know what I'm saying? So in a certain sense, we have progressed. But then in the same sense, we were like right back to where we started. You know what I mean? It really wasn't like, there's just a mask that's been put over so-called changes. Nothing thematically, you know what I'm saying, has necessarily changed. So I think he had a lot to say. I think he could more so somewhat be upset with us in the direction that we're headed in, and not really supporting like each other like that, and kind of make it like competitive between ourselves while ultimately bringing each other down, which is a bigger problem. As far as the interracial thing, I mean, I don't disagree with interracial dating. I think you're gonna like, we're gonna like, you're gonna love, we're gonna love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know there's some people that made the comment that you can stay with your kind, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? To build upon the black community, this, that, and the other. But I mean, at the same sense, you're gonna need where we're at right now. We're gonna need other races, because we don't even have we're not even back by our own supposed original homeland, Africa, like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a disconnect there. So you got to get, some type of help from somewhere. You know what I mean? 'Cause especially if we're not helping ourselves, so it's got to start from somewhere. So, I mean, as long as they, are respectful to the cause, or to the community culture, I really don't have an issue with it.
Shout out to my African folks out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like African power, like African pride.
Well, I mean, people are gonna feel how they want to feel, man. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, you gotta allow yourself to be you. Whatever you do, don't be ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Or just don't be ashamed to do it. If you love somebody, regardless of their color, you know what I'm saying? You love them. Don't be ashamed of that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us frowned upon. I would say like a white woman being with like a black man or some shit like that. Some of us in the community frown upon that shit. But that ain't really, that's up to them. You know what I'm saying? Like if we behave like such, we're doing the very same thing that we're accusing other communities of doing towards us, namely the white community and shit. Yeah, like I was, I'm saying, like, MLK, I just feel like I said he would be pissed if he saw, the way shit is done. Like today I was just telling, Jeff and Ebony about, like, there's one rapper or something in the world, I forget his fucking name, and he ain't important enough, but he just put money in the toilet and he took a picture of that shit. Like, what the fuck are we doing, man? But
because, man, we wasteful as fuck.
Yeah.
That's America. That's America as a whole, bro.
Yeah, America as a whole. We're not able to. Honestly, man, we're unable to worry. I mean, I'm with David Banner. You know what I'm saying? We got to focus on our community. We can't. Well, like, we're not allowed to, to look at, other communities and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? This is why we do shit the way that we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta look at it in a whole nother way.
We gotta look at it. It's our community and everywhere else as a whole, not just us. It's like people see us as America. They don't see us as African. They see us America as a whole, how we acting. We gotta fix our communities and outside of our communities.
Well, we gotta start. You gotta have a foundation, though.
Ourselves, our communities, and then
we haven't even got the structure. We haven't even got the structure yet. You know what I'm saying? As far as like our community, so we don't have a foundation. We don't know what to fall back on.
But we have there are plenty of examples of how to start. That people,
it ain't how to start. Let me break something down.
It's not how to start. But we have tunnel vision. Nobody's up for no damn change. That's the thing. People ain't up for no change. They see how other places are. They ain't up for no change. None of that.
I don't know if you noticed, there's a cap in America on black people. You don't know it.
But we have to up for change. We talk about change a lot. We talk about it, but we don't do.
There's a cap. I mean, you don't realize it. Like, when, I hate to say it, use Kanye's a point, but when he tried to do the whole clothing thing and build his own shit, there's a cap. And certain people, I'm not saying like certain people try to get to a point in their life, like with Jay-Z, all that hate they did on him when he started Tidal, there's a fucking cap. I should have turned on 48 degrees. But there's always a cap, man, and people don't know it until they get a certain amount of money, and then they try to do shit, and it's a cap. It's always a cap, yo. I don't even have money, and I realize it's a cap. The whole, like, the Bill Cosby shit, we don't want to say what it was. Some people say it's a certain thing, but there's a cap on his shit too. There's a fucking cap.
Yeah, there is that. There is a cap. And I want to touch on something, that David Banner was, he constantly speaks on. And as far as, like, he said, segregation, integration was probably the, one of the worst things that could happen to us as a people. Now, it comes off a little bit brash, you know what I'm saying? The first one, like, when you think about it a little bit more, it kind of it does have upside to it. You know what I'm saying? It has its upside because as far as like what we could work on in, the things we could have worked on in our community, as far as educating ourselves and like again on Black history, we have in a lot of places where we have I'm gonna say not that white teachers wouldn't be able to know Black history or anything like that, but again, we are studying. Our kids are learning. Even us, when we went through like school, we were learning about history. I mean, we learned about Black history during February only, but let's just say, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might get a little bit of Eli Whitney and the Cotton Gin, or a little Frederick Douglass, Benjamin Banneker, but like
people you learned about
but like the origin, like it really just our origin as as a people, and learning about like the first saying like what is it, the first civilization and shit like that. First civilization being off the Euphrates River, and Africa, and stuff like that. I didn't learn that until
Where you are.
I didn't learn that until college. Yeah, I mean, it's just what I'm saying. Like most schools don't teach that, and I didn't learn that until I got to college. You know what I'm saying? Like when I started learning Western civilization, they talked about the first civilization and all that. So that I can.
Yeah, when I was going to school in the Midwest, I learned they taught us a lot of stuff that nowadays they won't teach in schools. Like the whole slavery and how was it the Trail of Tears. I was taught like all that stuff. Once I moved out of, I went to South Dakota for 7 years. They taught all that stuff. Once I left that area, it was like we don't hear about any of that anymore. They don't talk about stuff like that anymore. The negative aspect of everything, of how America was built, and how bad slavery was. So I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I say it depends on where you at. I went to most predominantly white schools.
You stupid.
And so I mean, yeah, I went to quite a bit of predominantly white schools where some of them did teach us a lot about like African American history and just American history in general. And then there's some locations, when I moved to Arizona, they didn't teach none of that. So I don't even remember having a Black History Month. So I mean. Right. But,
Yeah.
like I said, we can't up to anymore. We gotta be the ones that do all that. That's our generation. I'm sorry, but I'm a generation X. I don't care what you like this. I'm born into a generation X. Don't get it twisted. So, I mean, that's why I gotta start teaching my kids. And I think so. At the same time, I don't want to teach just the native aspect of everything. We're going forward to teach them what we can do better ourselves.
Right.
Like that.
Okay.
And we're lazy at teaching that. We talk about it online, but we haven't been doing the walk.
Yeah. So I mean, Mike, you got anything you want to add? As far as this topic goes.
As far as like the history portion of it.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like like the integration and segregation thing. As far as like what whether or not you agree with I would say David Banner's stance on the fact that we should have what is it? Integration was probably like the worst thing that could happen for Black people.
I agree to a point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something to say. Okay, so we didn't do that, right? Well, we know as much as we know now. Saying, well, okay, we can talk about our race and what we went through and stuff like that. But when we have the not the resources, but the availability to know what they know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we've been at a more disadvantage, honestly.
Yeah.
Because what's to say is that their criteria would be, or our criteria would be the same as theirs. You know what I mean? As far as like going to school and stuff like that. They could just give us like, oh, this is what here, this is what you're going to learn. And then we was going for what we know. But then they would know way more than us. So, I mean, I don't know how many feel on that. I think as far as the history goes, I think it would be very beneficial if that did happen. But that's not to make the excuse that, I mean, we have to educate ourselves. But we know that it's not going to sit up there and be taught in the school system and stuff like that. We as parents, to make that happen.
Yeah.
Man, it's just me, myself, man. Well, I always got to feel like I'm a bad guy, bro. I kind of, like you said, I agree to an extent. But it's like, I don't understand, man. Like we said earlier, Malcolm was trying to like say the same shit, but we didn't listen. It's easy. Malcolm was saying the same shit, yo. Mm-hmm. Like we're always gonna be a step under them if we're under their system. Now we live in this country. They should give us the same like money and educational benefits they would give any other school. At one point, they did it with the Indians. Like we say, with history-wise, that's one thing. That's one thing that the Indians have. They know their past. They know where it came from. We don't.
Yeah.
That's the fucked up part about it. They were smart enough to be with them, be circle around themselves, so they could pass their shit on to each other. Now the government they paid for them to be, you know, like pay for schools and stuff in their community. The same thing they should have did for us, but they didn't want to do it for us. That's what I'm saying. That's some of the stuff that like Malcolm and some of these other people are saying. They didn't want to do it for us. They did the same thing. Oh, no, they did the same shit with Chinese. But they brought the Chinese people over here and made them work on those railroads and all that shit. They got benefits. They got school systems and all the rest of that other shit that we didn't get. We're the only ones that didn't get.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I fucking agree, bro.
I'm with you. I'm with you for the cap. I'm with you on that cap shit. I know definitely there's a cap on our you know what I'm saying, on our people, but you know, knowing what we know now, obviously, you know, with folks like David Banner and even T.I. using their platform to reach the masses, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of motherfuckers won't pay attention to like a history class, but they know every goddamn song on the radio. You know what I'm saying? So,
but to tell you the truth, I wouldn't pay attention to history class if they teach shit I don't want to hear. All in history, you go to history classes I was actually good in, is basically like all these fucking old ass white dudes. Then when you get older, they tell you all these motherfuckers have been at all this shit. You find out they didn't.
Yep.
When you really do your research, you find out that they stole this shit from somebody else. Benjamin Franklin, all these niggas, Tesla, you stole all these shit from him. Or a black man came up with it, you stole your shit from him. All these mathematical fucking people, they say came up with these problems and all this shit. You come to realize, well, this shit was started in Egypt, or this shit was started in India. This guy didn't come up with his fucking formula. It's been done thousands of times, years before this motherfucker did it. You actually find out the real person who came up with it. So why would you fucking pay attention to history class when all you're being told is lies?
Yeah, I don't know, man. But we gotta do something. We damn sure need to do something, man. You know, build that foundation. Like I said, you know, a building doesn't stand alone without its base. So we gotta build that base. I know before we get out of here, I know Eb wanted to do her rant or whatever. So Eb, floor is all yours. You know what I'm saying? Say what you need to say, so we can get to it.
I got my rant again, man.
You were talking about social media with family.
Oh, yeah. So not necessarily social media, but I guess it kind of goes back, like what we're talking about, like family. You know your family history. It seems like nowadays people don't know their family that well, like your family lineage, who your cousins, your aunties, your uncles are, any of that. Nowadays people, I don't know how to say it. People need to get to know where they come from. I get it. We don't know who our ancestors are, but you know who your grandmama are. You know where your grandmama came from, your granddaddy, your mama, your dad. Know your family history. I think that's something that's really important that we should get to do. And I noticed that a lot of people don't know their family anymore. You could be living in the same damn town and you don't even know that's your cousin, your auntie, your uncle. Because people have become so disconnected with each other, and so consumed with themselves that they just forget all about that.
Man, I know niggas that's trying to be my cousin on Facebook. I don't even fucking know. Fuck them niggas. I don't know you.
Well, that's the thing, though. You don't know because you don't know your family history.
Y'all, man.
You don't know if that's your cousin or not.
I don't care, bro.
You don't know your family history.
Got to go, B.
I think it's important that we get to know where our families come from. Like, my dad is working on my biological dad is working on our family tree. And it's pretty interesting that, that I'm finding out all this stuff. And it's crazy. And you're like, wow, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. And it, you learn something. You learn something about it every day. You learn something new. When you talk to old family members, I know people don't want to go and visit great grandma in there. Man, start doing that. Know what you can.
One straight song, no new friends, no new fam. No new fam.
See, and that's what's wrong with us right there. That's the shit that's wrong with us.
That's new niggas that ask for new money.
Definitely is a good example. One of the good examples of what is wrong with us today. Right there.
Well, I'll say this. There's one thing, family is one thing, and then there's also relatives. You know what I'm saying? I learned the difference when I went up to North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I learned the difference between family and relatives.
Yep.
You guys have become my family. You know what I'm saying? Like our time spent together in the Air Force. That is, you know what I'm saying? That is that's family right there. There's been a ton of times we've tested each other's, you know, I would say, love for one another. You know what I'm saying? Like if it wasn't for Jeffrey, I would have had not time in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have been, you know, I never would have stayed, you know, working out. You know what I'm saying? So I owe that to my big brother Jeff. You know what I'm saying? McGilla Gorilla. I owe that to him.
Right, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like again, you know what I'm saying? There was a point in time where, you know, Jeff needed somebody to room with him, you know what I'm saying, for a little bit, you know. So hell, I was just getting back from the desert. I was able to help Jeff, you know what I'm saying? That Jeff was helping me get the fuck out of the dorms, and I was able to help him with the rent. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is all us together. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We was all there. You know what I'm saying? This is what we did. This is
shout out to Lugo for being a fucking nasty ass horrible roommate.
Shout out, you know what I'm saying? And even with Mike, you know what I'm saying? Like me meeting Mike through you guys, you know what I'm saying? Just like the conversations that we've had, bro. You know what I mean? Like really, like it's really appreciative. And you know, we're just gonna keep growing. You know what I'm saying? But like I get what you're talking about, Eb. As far as like it's one thing to know who's related to you, but as far as like my family, man, I'm good on that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
I'm good. You know what I mean?
I'm good. I know my grandma, nigga. I know great grandma now.
Nah, man, that's yeah.
Nigga, no new family.
No, I wish you so. Well, I'm a little far away from my family to be dating them, so you know. But what I'm saying is like, Eb, let's just say when, you know what I'm saying, when we blow, and we will, and you get a text message or a message on fucking Facebook, or somebody tries to hit you up on Twitter saying, hey, I'm your cousin, I saw you on TV.
Yo, bro, I gotta tell you, man, I almost had to whoop some dude up in the parking lot, bro.
Oh yeah, this is a great interesting story, y'all. This is a great story. Go ahead, Jennifer.
So like we going over there to see the baby, shout out to young Logie. We were going to see the baby at the hospital, and some white guy cut me off, man. You know how I feel about that shit.
Yeah, we trying to
cut me off at a parking spot, bro.
And that almost backed into my car.
And then he got out of the damn car acting like he was fucking John Cena and shit.
Hey, we got some movies.
Yo, and I could have sworn I saw this motherfucker say nigga or something. Bro, you can see on the mouth the words, the syllables. Nigga, I parked this car and got out of this motherfucker so quick.
We didn't park in the middle of the street.
Oh yeah, I was in the middle of the street. Yo, all of a sudden you start breaking down. So, oh my God, I was 5 hours.
Daddy was having a mind attack. He committed suicide. He was like crying. Face red as I don't know what.
I don't know if he was crying. He was finna get his shit cracked. I think he was actually hurting, bro.
He was. He made us feel like shit.
I kind of felt bad because I was gonna beat the fuck out of him for real. He was gonna be in the hospital with them because I was gonna beat his ass.
And it's so funny that you about to whoop. It's so funny you about to whoop somebody's ass. I find it very hilarious that you was about to whoop somebody's ass for something that you did to that damn girl that worked at Ruby Tuesdays.
Nah, bro.
This dude, man, we were so mad.
He got out of the car and was just like,
he's bald.
I'm talking about when he got in the car, he was just like throwing his hands up.
He was like, I saw your goddamn car, and then he kept on walking. I was like, well, shit.
Like, him doing that, situation we were already in, man, I was gonna tear his fucking little bony ass apart.
Them motherfuckers is gangsters.
Oh, man, I forgot I was in the middle of fucking hospital parking lot.
The other kid was in the car. I'm like, what's your officer do?
Yeah.
I forgot Beans was in the car and everything, man. That shit went out the window. Killer Croombe came back. I was like, oh shit.
You can take the Kinston, you can take the homie out of Kinston, but you can't take the Kinston out the homie.
Yeah,
out.
I feel bad for him.
Black and white dude, hugging it out. Should have been YouTube.
That's what I'm talking about, man. There you go, man. Start, yeah. Good. See, you went Martin Luther King on it. You went Martin Luther King on it, man. Non-violent, non-violent.
He was like crying his ass off. I was like, fuck, man. This motherfucker was crying his ass off.
Why are you bullying people in hospital parking lots?
Man, I ain't bullying people, man.
That's a damn shame.
Man, I was already driving around the fucking parking lot. He just cut me the fuck off. Alright.
Mike, you got anything you want to say before we close up, man?
Let's see.
Cardi B.
Opioid shit yet? The Surgeon General is supposed to be like telling people to carry around like reverse opioid shit.
I don't know nothing about that shit.
Reverse what?
It's like it's supposed to be some type of drug or whatever he's advised, or whoever it is, the Surgeon General is advised to carry around to reverse opioid addiction. If y'all know about it, you look into that.
Like there's some free medication for drug addiction. Yeah, I heard about that. That's what I thought, man. They need to give out free cancer medication or something like that.
But y'all need to cop that
Cardi B.
Christopher just came out. Christopher just came out, the fire ass album.
Yeah.
Trip, as usual. I got that shit. There's something else I pulled again. Oh yeah, E40 and Be Legit just came out today too. I'm gonna get that one.
Right. And then
But I want to listen to the gospel album.
Who said me? Who listened to that 40 Water?
you talking about Snoop gospel album?
Yeah, I haven't heard. I heard one song.
No, I ain't. No, you won't. I haven't.
He
Yeah.
said it's like the #1 gospel album right now.
Well, he said.
And it ain't nothing like it's got like a lot of John P. Key and people like that on it. So
And it's got like a shitload of niggas in it. Hey nickel, you better get down on your knees, nickel. You better get down on your knees. Hey, I'ma do it for the DPG. Yeah.
Yo, we doing a locker room after this or not?
Oh shit, we could. I mean, I don't know how much time you know what I'm saying, Jeff got, but yeah, we can do it. I mean,
I'm not going there with the baby right now.
20 minutes?
I gotta do the googly, huh?
You could go in the locker room while you eat. Do the locker room in the family room.
I could do the locker room in the family room.
Well, I mean, if you want, I mean, Mike, I mean, we could do it. Shit, and then Jeff can call in
I don't want to say no real niggas in there. There's white people going
See, I knew it. If Snoop can say it, if Snoop can say knuckle around anybody, then shit, you can say it. Shit.
Not around the babies.
That look, Logan gonna say nigga. He is.
He look like he said it already.
Look at this shit. That's what I'm talking about there. Just sadness. Teaching my nephew, just any kind. I don't know, but yeah. So check out Don Trip, what he talking about. You know, again, hope everybody has a good week. Stay positive, you know what I'm saying, and you know, do what you gotta do. Hustle hard, you know what I'm saying. Whatever hustle that you pick, like Jay say. So stay with that. Yeah, that's it, and keep God first. But other than that, we out. Peace.